Howdy everyone, it's Reese, aka Bearman Prime, on this July 28th. Welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series. Thank you again for joining me. God bless you all. Card in the top right hand corner for the rest of the playlist. And please hit that like button, subscribe button, and notification bell. Sure to appreciate it. So yesterday we saw that right now the Festival of Shelters is going on. It's one of the traditional Jewish festivals, part of the Judaistic system. And Jesus's brothers, his half brothers, are encouraging him to go there, which is in Jerusalem. But Jesus is trying to stay out of Jerusalem and Judea in general because the Jewish leaders there want to kill him. But he ends up going anyway in secret, and then he goes to the temple court and begins teaching everyone there. And then he gets into this debate about who he is, what he's teaching, and and things like that. Where does he get the knowledge and information from? Obviously, we know where it comes from. It comes from heaven. But the Jews cannot reconcile that. They can't recognize that, and then they try to arrest him right there. So let's pick it up there. Let's go back to John chapter 7 today and pick it up in verse 32. The Pharisees heard what the people were saying about Jesus. So the leading priests and the Pharisees sent some temple police to arrest him. Then Jesus said, "I will be with you a little while longer. Then I will go back to the one who sent me. You will look for me, but you will not find me, and you cannot come where I am." These Jews said to each other, "Where will this man go that we cannot find him? Will he go to the Greek cities where our people live? Will he teach the Greek people there? He says, 'You will look for me, but you will not find me.' He also says, 'You cannot come where I am.'" What does this mean? Verse 37. The last day of the festival came. It was the most important day. On that day, Jesus stood up and said loudly, "Whoever is thirsty may come to me and drink. If anyone believes in me, rivers of living water will flow out from their heart." That is what the scriptures say. Jesus was talking about the Spirit. The Spirit had not yet been given to people because Jesus had not yet been raised to glory. But later, those who believed in Jesus would receive the Spirit. Verse 40. When the people heard the things that Jesus said, some of them said, "This man really is the prophet." Others said, "He is the Messiah." And others said, "The Messiah will not come from Galilee. The scriptures say that the Messiah will come from the family of David. And they say that he will come from Bethlehem, the town where David lived." So the people did not agree with each other about Jesus. Some of the people wanted to arrest him, but no one tried to do it. Verse 45. The temple police went back to the leading priests and the Pharisees. The priests and the Pharisees asked, "Why didn't you bring Jesus?" The temple police answered, "We have never heard anyone say such amazing things." The Pharisees answered, "So he has fooled you too. You don't see any of the leaders or any of us Pharisees believing in him, do you? But those people out there know nothing about the law. They are under God's curse." But Nicodemus was there in that group. He was the one who had gone to see Jesus before. He said, "Our law will not let us judge anyone without first hearing them and find out what they have done." The Jewish leaders answered, "You must be from Galilee too. Study the scriptures. You will find nothing about a prophet coming from Galilee." Then they all left and went home. All right. So, quite a bit there. Just a lot of infighting, a lot of, is he this, is he that? What they're still trying to figure things out, and well, Jesus just more or less speaking plainly about who he is. So the first part we see here, he declares to them that he's only going to be here a little while longer, and then he will go somewhere where they cannot follow and they will not find him. So we know that he is predicting his death there once again. They don't recognize that. They think that he's going to, leave the country and go somewhere where they cannot find him. But what he's really saying is that he's going to die, and then after he is risen to glory, and that after his resurrection, he will ascend back to heaven. Okay? No chance of them finding him after that. And then he talks about the rivers of living water that will flow from people. And this is the Spirit, the Holy Spirit. So the Holy Spirit is the part of us that the part of the Trinity that dwells within each person. It kind of is the connection between us and God in a way within our hearts. And the Spirit has not yet come to earth yet. He has not given us the Holy Spirit yet until after his resurrection. We'll touch more on that when that happens in Acts, okay? And so then you hear people arguing with each other. He's a prophet. He's the Messiah. He's not. He's a charlatan. He's this and that. And the Pharisees are pretty dead set. No, this guy is not who he says he is. They know that the Messiah will come from Bethlehem, from the line of David. They know this, and they know that he is from Nazareth, right? But remember, Jesus was born in Bethlehem, and he is of the line of David, right? So remember that. And then we see one of the Pharisees, Nicodemus. Now, I don't believe we touched on him earlier in our readings, but there's a couple instances here where Nicodemus, who is one of the elder members of the Sanhedrin, which is like their high council of Jewish religious leaders. Nicodemus is one of them, and he actually goes to Jesus in secret at night and listens to what he says and questions, and he's learning. And he's one of the few Jewish leaders who actually believe what he says. Now, he doesn't fully understand it himself, and he's still trying to reconcile that when someone's like, we've learned all this before. We have the scriptures. We have all this knowledge. And here comes this man. And yes, he speaks with authority and he speaks the truth, but it still doesn't make sense to me. So Nicodemus is still trying to, unravel that within his mind, but he's pretty much the only one in the Sanhedrin, in this hierarchy of Jewish leaders who believe Jesus. So he's trying to, stand up for him a little bit, say, hey, we're accusing him of all these things, but our law says that we cannot judge anyone until he's given a chance to speak for himself, which is fair, of course. I mean, that sounds fair to me, but the Pharisees are like, no, this guy is a blasphemer, it's heresy, blah, 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 and they're just totally shutting themselves down in regard to that. All right, well, that's all for today. We're going to pick it up there tomorrow. Thank you again for joining me. I sure do appreciate it. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye.